on, goody girl. Let's give them some organic good food. Change your food, change your life, change your good. Good is right. We're taking it to a whole nother level. Organic food is the cure to love and life. Yeah. We take good living to a whole nother level. Come on and go with me. Change your food, change your life. Don't you wanna go? Don't you wanna ride on the big side? To a whole nother level. We're taking it higher and higher and higher and higher. That's for sure. We take good living to a whole nother level. Change your food, change your life, change is good. Good is right. We take good living to a whole nother level. Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you're listening to the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. I'm Dennis Weaver, your good food guide and founder of Change Your Food, Change Your Life, a fun, high-energy, good health edutainment company with song, story, and entertaining guests designed to inform, encourage, coach, and inspire you to make 100% organic good food choices, foods that are life-giving, not life-diminishing. Remember, eating good equals feeling good. That's the equation for the good life. That fun opening cut of Good Living you just heard is from our Change Your Food, Change Your Life presents Good Living, a compilation CD album, and its title track is performed by Anna Maria Paisley. It is the worldwide organic good food anthem with officially registered fans from Haiti to Houston, Chile to Colorado, French Polynesia to Florida. So the next time you hear it playing, stand. Our producer, D-Money, always does right here in the studio. Thank you. You can catch D-Money on his own show, Fresh Juice, on Wednesday nights, full of cool entertainers. You can get yourself the Good Living CD at changeyourfoodchangeyourlife.com, changeyourfoodchangeyourlife.com. On the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show, we've had guests from all around the United States, Canada, and Mexico who talk, write, grow, mine, farm, police, buy, prepare, serve, make, teach, design, package, and sing about organic good food. They create organic cosmetics, advocate and lobby for organic good food. They read to children about organic good food. They talk about the good health of organic good food. They use organic good food as therapy. They juice organic good food fruit. They grow organic cotton t-shirts. I'm wearing one right now. They help with gluten-free choices, offer zero-waste package-free shopping. They lift spirits with organic floral essences and handcraft an organic sofa. So soft you'll go, ah. Uncle Matt himself of Uncle Matt's Organic Juices, the Mistress of Mushrooms, the Queen of Dairyland, the Cactus Tamer, Ms. Healthy Way, the Salt Miner, the Hempster, the Professor of Pickling, the Upcycler, Ms. Bear Life, and Sweet Bako Sweet, to name just a few of the previous guests on the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show, all working hard to make that healthful difference in your life. I've told you the story of Mary and Tanya, when a bean is not a bean, and I proved it costs less to live the organic good food life than not. And if that's not enough for you, we've had the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show musical. You're listening to Dennis Weaver, good food guide and host of the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. I received a request from a Willie Bevan to be added to my LinkedIn network. As is my routine, I reviewed his profile, an organic wild blueberry farmer and author, and learned of his family's Ella's Forest Organics. Their fresh, organic, good food wild blueberries looked absolutely delicious, and their organic good food Wonder Wild Berry Powder and Wild Blueberry Teas look to be a wow. So always looking for the best ofs for you and our audience, for your good health and happiness. I had to write them back and invite them to be on the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show. You'll love the why of Ella's Forest. So now, calling in from miles and miles away from Fort Augustus, Prince Edward Island, Canada, with a clear view of the Gulf of St. Lawrence and the North Atlantic Ocean, here's organic, good food, wild blueberry farmer and author, Willie Bevan.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Willie. Welcome, Willie and Ella's Forest Organics to the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I think we're going to have a wow show. The Change Your Food, Change Your Life show brings you only the best ofs for your delicious enjoyment, reviewed, curated. So now add Ella's Forest Organics. So who are you, Willie Bevan? Fill us in.
Who am I? Well, it's kind of simple. I'm Ella's dad and husband to Amy, Ella's mom. And of course, I'm a farmer, a organic wild blueberry farmer from Prince Edward Island, Canada's smallest, but of course, mightiest province. We're a family-based farm based in Fort Augustus. Fort Augustus today is not what it used to be. It's a dwindling community. Used to be 100-acre farms, but those farms of yesteryear are long gone. Our community school's been tore down. Our hockey rink and ball diamonds, they're just a memory now. Our little our little store is it's still there, but it's just a shadow of itself. It's no longer. It's just a fallen down building right now. It's empty, but and like I tell this story of when I went to school in grade 1, I had 14 cousins in grade 1. 14 of 28 of those students in grade 1 were related to me. Like that was our community. It's a bit different now. Those generational farmers that they've moved away, but we're still close knit. If there's a problem on our farm, there's always a cousin to call. Our electrician's a cousin, the plumber's a cousin, and our little farm, like we have 400 acres, but we grow certified organic wild blueberries. But not only that, we manufacture them into wild blueberry products each year. As the farming ends and winter roars in, and we get a lot of snow here, so I end up in the shop all winter, and we make our products and ship them out to our customers all year, like our powders and teas. They go worldwide. Besides our e-commerce store, we have distributors in Australia, China, Taiwan. We're actively looking for a USA distributor. How about you, Dennis? Do you want to be a wild blueberry powder salesman? Weaver's Wowder?
Weaver's Wowder?
Yes.
At the end of this show, Willie, what's the one thing you'd like our audience to have remembered?
I would like the audience to get to know their farmers. Like organics, like it's a choice of the heart and often a choice of the pocketbook. But you should really get to know your farmers. Like pick one thing in your fridge or in your cupboard each week and research that farm. Reach out to them and say hello. Find out about their farm, their products, their family. If they're local, go visit them. Go visit their farm. Any real farmer will gladly show you around his or her farm. Do this once a week all year round, and you'll change this world. You'll change it for the better.
Before Ellis Forest Organics, you told me you had a zoo. Tell that story.
The zoo. My dad's a beef farmer. He still is. He's 80 years old and has a beef farm. But one day he said, "Hey, do you want to take over my farm?" And I said, "Dad, this can't happen. When we raised cattle when you were young, and they were like pets, and I couldn't sell a pet, so I'd end up with a cow on every square foot of the farm, and not make any money, and eventually be bankrupt. You get too attached. So, but with wild blueberries, you don't get so attached."
I've teased it. It's a wonderful story. So tell us about Ellis Forest, the discovery and why the naming.
It's a no-brainer. It's the name anyway. It's named after our now 16-year-old daughter, Ella. She continuously inspires us to be better people, and each and every day. It seems like yesterday we wanted to buy a little piece of property, kind of close to my parents, but not too close. We settled on a small tract of woodland. It was down a tree-lined lane across a brook where I once fished in as a kid when the beaver stole my pocket knife. That's a different story. Our goal to make little trails in the forest and walk with Ella and maybe get some exercise. As we get older, we need a lot of exercise, so maybe just walk around the forest. But as luck would have it, the adjoining properties came available as well. They're owned by cousins, of course. Everything in this community is cousins, and we end up buying those. And here on PEI, historically, if you want to build a house, you go to the woods and you cut the lumber or you cut firewood for your stove. So our properties were kind of all cut over, and And because of that, the wild blueberries were able to flourish. So we noticed we had a lot of wild blueberries on our property. And, if you take away the big trees and the blueberries, they take off. So we just encouraged it a bit more, cut down a few more trees and took away the weeds and the saplings. And yeah, that was the genesis of our wild blueberry farm.
Yeah. Give us a little blueberry history.
Okay, blueberries. I'm assuming you mean the mighty wild blueberry.
That you're famous for. Yeah.
That's correct. I'd like the audience to remember that blueberries are farmed in a couple different ways. They're cultivated berries are, it's farmed in rows and in bushes. They're extensively farmed, but it's kind of a descendant of the wild blueberry, a long lost DNA altered cousin, so to speak. Wild blueberries have been around since the beginning of time. Natives, they were the original farmers, clearing bushes and setting large fires to encourage the wild blueberries to flourish. They called them starberries, and legend has it they were sent by the Great Spirit to relieve hunger in times of starvation. Wild blueberries were not only their nourishment, but their medicine. It's still the same today.
You're listening to Willie Bevan, growing you organic, good food, wild blueberry Wowder Powder at Ellis Forest Organics. This is the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Blueberries are a superfood. What are their good health benefits?
Okay, put to you this way. Just put a bowl of wild blueberries in front of a toddler. You'll see that toddler smile and reach out and grab the handful of berries. Take that bowl away, and what happens? Little Jimmy and little Jane starts bawling. As humans, we're pre-programmed to know that wild blueberries are not only taste great, but are good for us. We know that they lower the risk of heart disease, reduce the risk of diabetes and obesity. We know that. Dr. Google can tell you that. What Google can't tell you is how you feel when you eat wild blueberries daily, especially if you overindulge during the harvest season. You feel good.
Like you and your family does?
All the time. It makes you feel good. Like you feel like you're connected to the earth and you can take on the world. Like, sure,
Why?
we eat them.
Yeah. Why organic?
It's Mother Nature's plan.
Sounds like a book title to me. From the start of a wild blueberry to its harvest is how long of a period of time? I mean, what's the process? It isn't plant and pick, is it?
No, it's a labor of love, like bit of patience and a lot of wishing. I guess anything worthwhile is worth waiting for. It takes 2 years for wild blueberry vines to bear fruit.
How many years?
2, sorry.
Wow. No.
2 years, 24 months. I'll give you an example. In the fall, we mow or burn our plants down to ground level, and all the next year, weather permitting, if they get the right nourishment, sunlight, and moisture, they grow to about 12 inches high. And buds form and harden on these plants. And then winter comes. After a long winter's rest, these buds will, burst forth the next spring when the sun warms up. They will burst forth and become pink and white. And the native pollinators, they come out, and the bumblebees are our favorite. They're kind of cool. And they do the thing. They do the pollination. And we wait, just like anxious parents, we wait. We watch some little green berries grow and get bigger, and then they start to turn a little bit purple and then blue. And then when they get just the shade of blue, your tongue knows the right shade of blue. So you taste them, and then you realize it's harvest time. We pick them, drag them back to our shop, and clean them up, remove the green berries and the leaves and the branches, and we put them in our freezer. We have a big freezer here. And then winter comes, and we put our aprons on and make powder and tea all winter long.
So what is your famous wild blueberry organic good food Wowder powder?
Wowder, It's organic wild blueberry powder. We used to travel a lot, and we just couldn't get wild blueberries when we traveled, and we would buy some. They're just not right, and we needed something that, try putting frozen berries in your suitcase. It doesn't work out well. It's a mess when you get there. So what we did, we Googled and found some powder, ordered a bunch of it, and taste tested it, and made a lot of smoothies. And we just tried to find the right powder, and we couldn't find something that we really enjoyed. So some are bad, some are crunchy, some are chunky, some are no taste, some are really, really bad. So we wanted to do something that was chemical free as well. So we tried and failed. We failed for weeks until by accident we figured it out, and Wowder was born. It's a perfect organic wild blueberry powder.
Describe your Ellis Forest Organics wild blueberry teas. We've had 2 organic good food upcyclers here on the Change of Food, Change Your Life show before. You're the 3rd innovator this time by your using something other than the blueberry itself. How so?
Yes, the blueberry leaf. We can't take the credit for this. Natives have been.
Oh, why not?
Natives have been making a blueberry tea forever, and Teresa Gaffney in Maine from Highland Organics, she had done this and sold it commercially a little bit, but we just took it one step further. We mixed their leaves and the berries together, and then blended them together, and then dehydrate them all as one product. Most traditional tea drinkers, they hate it. They really hate it. It's not your typical Earl Grey, but our clients love it. They love the wild leaf taste and how it blends with the sweetness of the wild blueberry. It does not look like normal tea, but we're not making teas for a beauty pageant. We're making them because they're good for you. They're grown on the farm. And
what is your bow Wowder?
Okay, we have 2 dogs, Mickey and Minnie, and every season during harvest, they're out there with us, just munching on the berries. So we realize if it's good for humans, dogs must love it too. So we decided to make a powder for them. So when we travel and, in the wintertime, and so we decided to, there's a farm close by that grew cranberries. So we said, hey, let's add cranberries for, urinary health. And we added that in there and made a powder. And the design, the lady that designed the labels come up with the name Bow Wowder. We're looking for a little bit different name. And, we come up with something that adds all the health benefits of wild blueberries and cranberries together. And,
Bow Wowder is not a bad term. Not quite as cool as Weaver's Wowder. Anyway,
that's great. It adds a little bit of wow to the wag.
This is the Change of Food, Change Your Life show on Rainier Avenue Radio World, and you're listening to your new good food friend, Willie Bevan, Ellis Forest Organics, calling in from way out east on Prince Edward Island, Canada. When Willie says Ellis Forest Organic is a family farm, take him at his word. Because as a fun family, they've named everything on the farm. So let's go through the family, the twins.
That's our dogs, Mickey and Minnie. What they're called twins because one's black, one's white. One's big, one's small, one male, one female. They're not similar at all. That's why we call them the twins.
Chewy?
Chewy's a mulcher. It chews up the small trees and the stumps.
Tractor?
We couldn't afford a real tractor, so we had a red Honda side-by-side. ATV, so we called it tractor.
Handy
is it's a little picker thing, log loader thing. It's you're really getting a workout after the last hurricane. There's trees all over the place. So
Misty,
our sprayer, originally used for water in our orchard, but now it sprays some of the organic sprays we use.
Pushy,
our little bulldozer. He's broken now. He's broke down, so he needs a doctor.
Snippy.
Snippy's our standalone flail mower that gets towed behind tractor, but sometimes green too.
Stinky.
Our manure spreader spreads the wood chips and compost on our fields.
Green?
Green is kind of tractor's best friend. It's a green side-by-side ATV.
Esther?
Esther's our drone.
And what role does Esther play on a farm?
Well, you can't always see everything from the ground, so you got to map things out from the air. So Esther does that, and coincidentally, that's the name of our golden eagle in our book.
So if growing wild organic blueberries, running a farm, and converting those organic good food blueberries to wonder powder and teas doesn't keep you busy enough, you also are an author. Your first book is Mother Nature's Plan, in what will be a series, I understand, the saga of Mick and Min, mules, Jill and Jane, dragons, dogs' names, gnomes, and elves. How do all those come together to form the basis of a book? Children's book or adult?
It's kind of a bit of both. It has a target audience of ages 9 to 12, but adults really love the historical aspect of the book. There's long winter days in the shop making powder and tea and listening to podcasts and audio books. So we figured after listening to and reading so many books, it was our turn to give one back. So we wrote a book.
At Ella's Forest Organics, it's always family. Author Willie. Ella is the illustrator, and the editor is?
Amy. Amy is the in-house editor. She fixes all mistakes before it goes off to the publisher. What wife doesn't correct her husband?
And your next book?
The Gathering. It's a continuation of Mother Nature's Plans. It just takes off for the last story to leaves. We've just been given a sign by our producer that we're almost out of time. So with the last remaining moments, out of all the delish uses for your organic good food wild blueberry Wowder Powder, what's your fave? Smoothie, ice cream, what? It's cheesecake, believe it or not. My waist will tell you that. It's my absolute favorite. It's the way the Wowder blends and swirls and each cheesecake is a work of art. It's amazing.
Well, thank you so much, Willie, for the show today, and for turning wild organic blueberries into power Wowder powders and teas at Ella's Forest Organics, and for getting us hooked on your continuing series of books, now Mother Nature's Plan and soon The Gathering, and then. Should we just leave our credit card with you?
Just go to our website and sign up for a newsletter. There's a widget on there somewhere, and let's get you all the deals, all the sales, and you'll find out more about us.
Go to ellasforest.com, ELLAS forest.com, to see the family that works so hard to bring you Ella's Forest Organics, mouth-watering recipes and stories from the farm. Order yourself some blueberry Wowder powder for your smoothies, yogurt, and ice cream to add to your pancake batter and to flavor and or color your cakes, cupcakes, and icing. That's why it's called Wowder. And get their fun book, Mother Nature's Plan, to read while you're luxuriating with a Wowder-powered smoothie. That's ellasforest.com. Again, that's ELLAS forest.com. Does the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show on Rainier Avenue Radio World bringing the most interesting guests or what? Willie Bevan, Ella's Forest Organics, wild blueberry farmer, bringing you Wowder powder and books. Don't ever miss an episode of the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show. You'll be sorry, and you won't be as smart and healthy as you could be. Thank you again, Willie.
Thank you, Dennis, and thank you, everyone.
You know I'm going to say it. I think we've all had a wow day. You've been listening to Willie Bevan, Ella's Forest Organics, making organic good food, wild blueberries so easy to enjoy with their Wowder powder for your good health and happiness. This is the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. In the weeks following, sometimes you'll spend the full half hour with me, your good food guide, other times a live studio guest and calling guests as Willie did today. Coming up, more organic good food stars and their stories, coffee creamers, and the return of the mistress of mushrooms. And yes, of course, we're still waiting for her, our internationally acclaimed designer darling, Nina Morgan-Jones, who returns from London to Hollywood. She's getting closer. Was in the south of France for a while, collaborating with an Italian designer. Organic good food has this glam, Check out Nina's rompboutique.com. Yeah, that's rompboutique.com. She sent me a note from London about a new collection with pictures. Romp and roll, baby. And as Nina says, stay wild and organic. In the meantime, feel free to call me, your good food guide, Dennis, at 425-774-8971, 425-774-8971, or email changeyourfood@hotmail.com, changeyourfood@hotmail.com. You can get yourself a copy of the songs you've heard today, Good Living, and as we go out, Go O, and our Good Living compilation CD album at changeyourfoodchangeyourlife.com, changeyourfoodchangeyourlife.com. There are 16 tracks on the CD, 16 songs that celebrate the joy organic good food brings to life. Jazz, pop, rap, gospel, blues. You can exercise to it, dance to it, sing to it, shop to it, barbecue to it, eat to it, drink to it, learn to it, lift up your day to it, be inspired by it. It is many diverse voices coming together, but with one message. Where Change Your Food, Change Your Life artists and ambassadors hope that one of the songs catches your ear and makes that healthful difference in your life. You've been listening to Dennis Weaver, good food guide and host of the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show, along with Willie Bevan, calling in from Fort Augustus, Prince Edward Island, Canada, way east of here on the Gulf of St. Lawrence, sharing the story of Ella's Forest Organics. And be sure to get yourself the hot new Rainier Avenue Radio World app so you can take Willie and me with me. And it's free videos, live broadcasts, and all the radio shows wherever you are. Change your food, change your life. Begin living the organic good food life, and the rest of your life just may be the best of your life. You'll have no anxiety. You'll feel better than when you began. You'll probably look better, have more energy, and be a few pounds lighter. Well, then why not change your food, change your life forever? Honor yourself by making 100% organic good food choices. So I wish each and every one of you in the audience our very, very best, and that you may find your good health and happiness as we have. Thank you for listening. O's up to your health.
I'm gonna go, oh,